Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue episode 8 of our Isle of Man save. Now, full disclosure, we have jumped forward a fair chunk of the season. I did say in the last episode I wanted to bring you guys the FAVs run, and we were going to focus on that competition a little bit because the league was kind of going well. But what I didn't realise is how freaking long that competition is. We've got to play like 8 games to get through to the final and to eventually win it. We're still in that competition, but we're way further in the season, which does mean quite a bit has happened. It's a very different looking lineup to the one that you guys would have noticed in the last episode. And also, as you can see on the top of the table here, we might as well jump straight into the game. We finished as champions, 32 games played, 79 points. Nobody can catch us. We pretty much just walked away with the league in the second half of the season. If we go through to our schedule, we actually haven't lost since that defeat to Crowborough in October that took us to 3 defeats for the season. We have won pretty much every game since then. Been on a great Bill Bay's FAVs run. If we have a look at the stages here, I think the last episode we did the first round match. We beat Billingham in extra time. Me not realising that the first round has a second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. We're only doing 5 episodes this week to take us through to episode 10. So like I didn't really want to have 15 episodes or try and do an episode, because I record these mostly after work, do an episode where I was trying to play like multiple rounds in a singular episode, because that would have just been a nightmare to record and it would have been shitty content. I'd have been knackered by the time I actually got through to it. So we are currently up to the quarterfinal stage. We've had pretty good run. We just keep drawing teams in our division or lower. We haven't actually played against any higher division opposition. Smashed Billinghurst in the second round, smashed God Manchester in the third round. A little bit tighter 3-1 win against Whitley Bay in the fourth round, a 3-1 win again last time out in the fifth round, and it takes us through to the quarterfinal where we will play Bishop Auckland. It will be brought to you in this episode today. They're currently in the English Northern League Division 1, so they are one division below where we currently sit. We're just getting a really fortunate run to the final. That's really the only way I can describe it. And in the league, we've been absolutely smashing teams. A couple of draws in the last few times. Crowborough are turning out to be a little bit of a bogey side. A 0-0 draw after they beat us 2-1 earlier in the season. And a 1-1 draw with Eastbourne Town, the only points that we've dropped since the last episode. Eastbourne Town, actually, we drew with them 0-0 both times. Or we drew 0-0 and then 1-1 both times in the league. So there are a couple of teams that are playing well against us and doing good tactics against us, which is interesting growth. But like I said, we've kind of walked through the league. Shoreham dropped off quite a bit. Peacehaven dropped off quite a bit. Crawley down, brought back to them. New Haven, Flowserve, like none of these teams actually got anywhere near us really in terms of their points totals for the season. 32 games played, 25 wins, 4 draws, 3 losses, nothing to complain about. The only thing actually that I could complain about is everybody coming in and taking our players. So McClellan got picked up by Whitley Bay not long after we played them. They also came in and got Owen Beck. Simeon Ure, club legend Simeon Ure, has been stolen by Salford. We never got him to sign anything other than an amateur deal as soon as they offered him a contract, which is, to be fair, decent money, £675 a week. I can't really compete with that or argue with it. He was on his way, which is fine. He's still young enough that we may potentially bring him back and get him back in the lineup again in future seasons. James Cook went to Farsley Celtic, who are currently playing in the Vanarama North. Again, hard to argue with that one. We can't really compete with some of the wages that they're offering. And of course, giving them like part-time and full-time deals at that level is probably the best thing for their development. So we have brought in a shitload of players, way more than I would usually like to do in a season, but our hand's been forced a little bit by the fact that everyone's just on non-contracts and that there's very little we can actually do working within the existing wage budget. We do get a little bit of a boost next season, of course, getting promoted. We've got, I think, 1.4k to work with in a weekly wage budget, which does mean we should be able to bring in a couple of new faces, whatever else. We're already identifying targets from younger players whose contracts are up with bigger clubs. And there are some players that we've brought in that are well and truly above the level that we're currently playing at. Charlie Andrews, playing in goal, ex-Hull junior. As the season wears on, keep an eye on your free transfer market, because young players that potentially weren't going to join you at the start of the season, they'll change their mind and they'll decide that they just want to play regular football and be willing to drop down. He's on like no money whatsoever, so he's a great get and has been excellent for us in goal. Jack Bainbridge, probably the oldest player we've signed so far at 22, ex-Swansea, ex-Everton junior. Ex-Sunderland as well. He's a natural fullback. He can play at central defence as well, which is where we're using him. He's been great for us. The two that I want to focus on mostly, Rob Harker up top, 20 years of age, got 21 goals in 16 appearances, an absolute beast in terms of his interplay and everything like that. Also has chipped in with 6 pretty fantastic assists in that time as well. Just a player that shouldn't be playing at this level. 4.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential. I think he does have higher potential than that, but definitely a player that we've brought in just because he was on the market and so good. Alongside him, we've got another absolute star in Cameron Archer, ex-Aston Villa junior, 5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He's working at the moment as that pressing forward. Phenomenal fitness, phenomenal pace, great determination, and great off the ball. Like 15 off the ball at this level is absolutely fantastic. So he's just scoring goals for fun at the moment. 14 and 17 appearances, but also chipping in with 5 assists as well. It does mean, sadly, that Charlie Ball has dropped to the bench. He's kind of hit his ceiling, I think, at 21. 2.5-star current ability, 2.5-star potential. I don't necessarily trust those star ratings from my assistant. I tend to just focus more on the key attributes for the role we're asking them to do. But he went through a bit of a slump where he wasn't scoring after setting the early season form on fire. Still has 28 goals in 23 league appearances. But we do start to need to start planning for next season, and that does mean we have to bring in these players that are high potential and high current ability as well. There's no real room. It's a shit thing to say, but there's no real room for loyalty in these early seasons, because as we get promoted, these players aren't going to develop to that level. And if we want this series to be, a long-term save where we do get up towards the Premier League, do get towards the Champions League, start challenging for major English and continental titles, then we do kind of have to try and move the squad up as quickly as possible. We've also signed Josh Askew as a left wing-back. He's been solid, if not spectacular. 23 years old, 3-star current ability, 3-star potential, ex-Blackburn junior. Played at a lower league level with Salford, Stockport, Ashton United, Curzon Ashton. So he has played quite a bit further above our current level, but willing to drop down. We've got him till the end of the year, and he's been performing pretty well. With the loss of Simeon Ure, we've dropped our wingers back a little bit just to try and get, kind of like a lower defensive block. And with Archer and Harker up top, we don't really need an extra body in there. Just give them the space to work in, and they're creating quite a bit. So Ola's been playing on the right-hand side as a winger on attack, but a little bit deeper. Fenlon's been playing on the left, winger on attack still, but starting from a little bit deeper position. And it's been going fine. There's been no real change in the way that we're creating chances, scoring goals, whatever else. We might even actually be a little bit more defensively stable than we were previously. But as we know, anything can happen once you load the game back up again. So let's jump into the league game against Thornaby today. They are one of the teams that beat us earlier on in the season. So it's a bit of a revenge mission and a great opportunity for you guys to see the lineup as it currently exists and how the team's playing and performing and whatever else. They're playing at 4-4-2 as well. They've got Story, who's an ex-Newcastle junior, in the centre of the park. Looks okay, nothing spectacular. They've got Lee Pugh on the left-hand side, left back by trade. 16 long throws we'll have to keep an eye out for. He's playing left midfield today. We, of course, have Andrew in goal, Bainbridge and Tonson as the central defensive partnership, Askew and Sen as the fullbacks, Fenlon and Ola as the wingbacks, Broadbent and Haygarth as the central midfield partnership, and Archer and Harker, who I just introduced you to, leading the lines up top. We're going to go out and tell everybody, media have been praising you lately, or great opportunity to show everyone the pundits have been right to back you up. It is, I think, the first league game since we actually won the title. So hopefully no complacency. Hopefully we can put together a good performance and get 3 points in this match. First highlight of the game, Thompson plays it forward to Haygarth in midfield. Broadbent with the ball in behind. Harker is in the area. He's got not much of an angle to aim at, and he's been ruled out for offside. It was still an excellent finish though. Went for that kind of kill shot, high strike, past the keeper's near post. Free kick now. Wilson to take for Thornaby. It's headed away. McIntosh, the centre-back, will recover. Plays it back to LeBird. Hangs the ball towards the back stick to Pugh. Essien recovers. Plays forward to Ola. Forward to Harker now. We're very good in transition. Broadbent now to Archer. We've got a man over on the right-hand side. Field's going to cut that one out. Goes back to Whitcomb in goal. Long ball forward. Good header from Broadbent. Fenlon wins it. Could have released a man in there. Instead switches it out to Harker on the right-hand side. Hangs one towards Haygarth, who gets his foot to the ball. 7th goal of the season for Max Haygarth. Thriving in that Messiah role now that we're playing a flatter midfield shape. I think he's not getting caught behind the players much. Like by having 4 in a straight line, he's not stuck behind the wingers. He actually gets into the box more regularly to receive crosses. And it's a good finish from him, to be fair. Moving backwards on the penalty spot. Low and hard across the keeper. And we go a goal to the good in the 40th minute. Long ball forward from Whitcomb. Should hopefully be the last highlight of the half. McIntosh with the ball forward. Askew with a good header. Little looks for a crossfield switch out towards Pugh. Essien recovers in a good position. Edgar, the left back for Thornaby, should recover. Plays it into Whitcomb. Clearance away. Wilson with the ball now. Comes forward for Thornaby. Finch back to Wilson. All the way back to Story at the base of midfield. Essien recovers in a good position again, but then just hacks it away. Edgar, the left back, inside to Story, who seems to be sitting at the base of midfield. The pass is poor. Harker's cut it out. He's in the box now. Can he find the finish? He just had to find a corner. Instead, he's gone straight at Whitcomb in the Thornaby goal, and he pushes it out for a corner. I'll let it take. Plays the short one to Fenlon, sorry. And half-time is called. 12 shots, 5 on target, 54% of the ball. They've had one shot, but it wasn't on target. pretty much all over them except for the scoreline. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. No need to get down on anybody. We're going to try and keep morale high before the cup fixture. Askew with the ball in now. Bainbridge's back post. I think that's his first goal for the club. And a good finish. A great ball in as well from Askew from that deep area. And we go 2 goals to the good. Just wraps his left foot around it. It's curling away from the keeper so he doesn't come. Bainbridge gets inside his marker and pretty much puts that one right into the top bins. Keeper couldn't do too much about it. And we get the goal to make our statistical dominance clear. We're into the 60th minute. We'll make 2 subs. Ritson will come on as one of the central defenders just because Thompson has picked up a yellow card. And we'll bring on Charlie Ball, see if he can add to his goal tally for the season. Passionately, we're going to tell them there's a lot more to come from them. And hopefully we can poke a few more home to boost our goal difference. Not that it needs boosting. We've already won the league. But I think just in terms of getting comfortable with the structure for next season, it would help us quite a bit. Broadbent, for whatever reasons, put that out for a corner. There wasn't a whole lot going on, to be completely honest. Subs go through now. We'll also use our Get Creative shout with 30 minutes remaining. Wickham with a goal kick forward. Good header from Askew. Haygarth recovers in midfield. Broadbent just punts it towards a corner. No one's chasing. McNicholas goes back to Wickham in goal. Long ball forward again. Finch with a good header out wide to Pugh. Patience with the ball over the top. Tarinda has gotten goal side. It's a good save from Andrew. He came out big. And the referee did call it back for offside, but keeper didn't know that. Had to make the save. 10 minutes remaining. Let's use our demand more shout. See if we can get everyone some focus through to the final whistle. Everyone seems focused. Our team talks are going very well at this point of the season. 3 minutes of additional time to be added on. Ball forward by Field. Harker recovers possession. Loses out. Squares it out to Ola. Back to SEN at right back. Inside to Haygarth, who can turn. Looks to play it towards SEN again. It wasn't really on, but SEN's done well to recover possession and burst past the man. Ball back to Haygarth at the top of the midfield. Broadbent at the base, into Haygarth, just exchanging passes between them. Fenlon now, getting involved. Askew with the overlapping run, plays in Fenlon from the wide area. It's a good finish from Reece Fenlon. He's only like 2-star current ability, but he does score pretty consistently. 8 goals since we picked him up in, I think, January, which isn't bad for a wide player being asked to fulfill roles on both sides. And just well worked. Askew, lovely little way to pass there, and Fenlon gets his head up, looks back stick, and pokes that one into the far corner. Game comes to an end, 3-0 win. I would have taken it had you offered it before the game. We do get revenge against Thornaby. Good win, boys. Well done. But I think it shows the progress that we've made from the first half of the season to the second and some of the quality that we've been able to bring in. Bainbridge gets the Man of the Match award. We'll give praise his performance, tell him his defensive work was good, just to try and keep morale up. And we do have the game against Bishop Auckland away from home in 3 days. So what I'm going to do is just give everybody who just played in that fixture 1 day's rest, just to try and boost their fitness and match sharpness a little bit. And of course, Magic Vetting will jump forward to that game now. Just like that, we're a couple of days ahead. Only one change. We're going to rest Archer, who picked up a knock in the last match. Ball will come and start as the poacher. Harker will move to the pressing forward role. They don't look horrific. They've got George Barmby up front, who I think is Nick Barmby's son, ex-Scunthorpe Jr. Leading the line. They've got Hoganson, ex-Derby youth player, in at left back. They might be okay. We have conceded quite a few in this competition, actually. Every game we've won, I think we've conceded a goal in at some point. We're just going to tell everyone to pick up where they played last time. And if we continue our run and start getting into our first semi-final, I think it is the next level. Actually, we should probably put that across. Let's go to the latest scores. Let's try and find... There we go, I found it. The other competitions as well. Hoganson now, we did speak about him in the build-up. Plays it forward to McHugh. Back to him again. He's going to want to get it on his left foot. Just stand him up. Inside to Farrington. Ball out wide to Barmby, who again we spoke about in the build-up. Ball in behind for Fryatt. Gets his head up. Askew with a good tackle. Oh, they've given a penalty for it. They've said it looks harsh in commentary, but there's no VAR at this level. So if the ref gives it, that's what's going to happen. Bell's going to take. Played forward, and he wasn't far off it there. Andrews in goal. Just a little bit low and left to his side. We'll check it out in 3 dimensions, see how close he actually got to it. He may have stood up for it. No, he tried to dive, and it just goes underneath the direction that he was diving in. So we're going to have to come back from a goal behind, which has been the story of this competition so far for us. 30 minutes played, we use our Get Creative shout. Everyone's responded positively, which is great. We haven't seen any further highlights since their goal. Though, having said that, they've just had one now. Thompson with a deep ball in. Andrew should claim. If we can get forward a little bit quicker, we might be on for a counter-attack here. They look out to the left-hand side. Thompson cuts it out for Bishop Auckland. Bainbridge with the header. Broadbent can turn. Played out left to Fenlon. Steps inside. Looks to switch out to Haygarth. Ball forward to Ola on the right-hand side. Takes a touch around his man. Squares it up for Ball, who probably would have finished if it was the early part of the season. But the second half of the year he struggled. It was a good save from Wright in the Auckland goal, to be fair. And potentially we should have gone in 1-1, but we're 1-0 down at half-time. They've had 3 shots, 3 on target, 52% of the ball. We've had 11, 4 and 48. I am going to tell them aggressively, show a bit of desire just to try and fire everybody up. And we might also go into our tactics, go to our attacking mentality and really push a little bit further forward to try and find a finish and find an equaliser. I think this one still goes to extra time if it's a draw after 90 minutes. We've got a corner here. Fenlon takes the short one to Ola. Deep ball towards Bainbridge. He gets a header across, but Wright makes a good diving save and holds. Is that the end of the highlight? Long ball forward. It's going to make its way all the way to Andrew, who's kind of been a bit anxious in coming out of his box there. Fenlon does okay to bring it down. Broadbent wins a good, important tackle back in midfield. Haygarth looks for Harker, who knocks it down to Fenlon. Very well. Fenlon with the strike from the edge of the area. Never looked like trouble in the keeper. Maybe he could have tried to play him ball there. Goal kick here for Bishop Auckland. You can see they've got 2 centre-backs in their defensive half. Farrington looks to clear it out. Ola should recover. Bursts into the box from the wide area. Gets the strike away, but Wright is equal to it again. Alright, it's 30 minutes remaining. We're going to go for it. We're going to make all 3 subs. We'll bring on Thompson at centre-back for Ritson, who's struggling a little bit. Fenlon will come off for Harrison on the left wing. He's not super suited to that role, but I think fresh legs will help us a bit more. And we're also going to take off Charlie Ball for the forgotten man, Thomas Allen, our 4th choice striker. He'll come on and play as the pressing forward so that we can return Harker to his poacher role. We're also going to use our get creative shout with 20 minutes remaining. Few seem inspired. We've got a highlight here. Ola to take. Good header from Allen. And it's a good save again from Wright. He's keeping them in it at the moment. Ola takes the resulting corner. Short to Harrison. Deep ball across. There, Thompson gets it away with ease. Wright has space to move into. We just need to stand him up. Don't do anything silly. Broadbent with a good tackle puts it out for a throw. Hoganson with a throw in here. Up the line to McHugh. Back to Hoganson again. Long ball forward. Ritson with a good header. Plays to Broadbent, who's had time and space all game. Haygarth loses out to Ackrig. Long ball forward from Robertson. It's taken away from Barmby. McHugh now. They're leaving men forward to try and get us on the counter-attack late on here. Barmby with the ball at the top of the box. Plays it out right to Fryatt. We did recover possession and then get it away. No one challenges the header up front. Hoganson forward to McHugh. Turns the men very, very well. Gets into the box and thankfully well wide in the strike. Highlight here again. Free kick for Essien. Plays into Haygarth. Back to Essien across to Broadbent at the base of midfield. Looks over the left to Askew. Works the ball to backstick. Harker with the header, and I think it clipped the base of the post and then went out. So the finest of margin. We're into the last 10 minutes. We're going to use our demand more shout. Everyone seems focused, but we need to find a finish and get the ball in the back of the net. 2 minutes to be added on. Is our cup run about to come to an end? Oh, God, it's anticlimactic with no finishing highlight, but a 1-0 defeat. Lucas Bell with 16-minute penalty. They had 5 shots, 3 on target, 48% possession. We've had 24 shots, 9 on target, 52%. Just couldn't find the finish. I don't think that's necessarily FM's territory, but it's getting close to it. We've had a couple of games similar to that where we've smashed teams in terms of chances created and just haven't found the finish. Let's just say it wasn't good enough, boys, and hopefully that kind of picks us up a little bit for the end of the season. Disappointing. I would have liked to have brought you a cup semi-final on Thursday and Friday, but I guess we just go again for next season. We're going to try and focus on that competition again, add it to the cabinet before we get promoted too high in the divisions and can't go after it anymore. Broadbent got the man of the match award in midfield, the 7.2 rating. And Charlie Ball still hasn't scored in 12 consecutive matches, which is one of the reasons that I think we brought in additional players. Thomas Allen also hasn't scored off the bench, so our depth up front is struggling just a little bit. Looking at the schedule, that it throws my plans out a little bit, to be completely honest. We might come back and do the games against New Haven and Peacehaven. Peacehaven currently in 3rd, New Haven currently in 5th. They should hopefully be decent challenges, and then we'll come back and do the game against Newark Flowserve to finish off Friday, and also do a bit of a season review, go through the leading scorers and any club records that might have changed, and of course our planning for Season 3 in the higher division. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. The continued support for this series has been fantastic. I really do appreciate it. You can subscribe to the channel. There's a link over there if you want to be kept up to date on future videos as they are continued to be released. You can follow @InTheMixer_FM on Twitter to be kept up to date to all our interactions within the Football Manager community, and of course our Sunday night streams. Sunday morning streams if you're in the UK over on Twitch, twitch.tv/InTheMixer_FM. But more than anything, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the Mixer.